So anyway, so the first four movies of 18 months was Honey I Shrunk the Kids, Born on the Fourth of July, Glory, and Steel Magnolia.
Wow, which
And
are
I
all so diverse too.
it was,
They're all
and
completely
I cut
different.
most of all these sound effects
Yeah.
for most of those. And it was interesting because when Wiley, when I was doing Honey I Shrunk the Kids, I said, I saw the first time it was an F1. So it was sort of a semi-mobile recording unit. So I just went into the yellow pages, found a guy who does bees, a beekeeper. I said, I got this movie I got bees in. So I ran back, recorded bees, came back, put it into a sampler so I can now play it. At that time, nobody was really doing that. Nobody was using computers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And So I cut the whole bee sequence, panned it, did the whole thing. And all he wanted me to do was create a library.
Sure.
So then he's like, wow, okay, let's try another scene.
Try this. It's like,
And you know what I liked was I think I was young enough and naive enough. So when we were doing Born on the Fourth, and I saw the wall of the room, I said, how do you get this room to sound like outside? Well, we have a way. And I said, I have another idea. How about we grab everybody in the park? And I grabbed that F1. And so we got Dale Dye to come out. And we took everybody outside. And it was great because then I cut everything in.
yeah.
And it was part of production.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So early on, I think I was ignorant enough, naive enough.
Yeah, it's funny you say it that way, but that's really true. It's like if you don't know what you can't do, it opens up so many possibilities.
Right. And people got to go, oh, yeah, sure, let's try that. And
Why
I
not?
didn't know any better.
How else are you going to do it?
Yeah, I was trying to figure, like, I got a problem. How do I solve this?
Exactly. Yeah. Since I've seen, I mean, not too often, but they're fun outdoor ADR group sessions that really, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I do a lot of that. And I've kind of, for me, and nothing against great actors, but sometimes hiring the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
So when I did Book of Life, I said nothing against it, but I'd rather get Mexicans doing this than people trying to be Mexican.
Sure.
So I went to Mexico. We got a bull ring since we were in a bull ring, and used a whole bunch of microphones, conducted 100 people, used them as extras.
That's great.
Moved them all around the bull ring, and then when I was able to combine it, they placed it acoustically. It was wonderful. And same thing with the Doors. I didn't want to get a bunch of actors. I threw a kegger and brought in a bunch of fraternities and sororities.
Yeah.
And we must have had 300 people. So all of everything, the sing-alongs, the crowds, and all of that, we rented Sony Studios. Was it the Streisand stage?
The big stage.
Yeah, we did that. We got everybody there. I had guys booming in the middle of the room to get different perspectives. And again, it's just trying to solve issues. Yeah. It's not like we had a lot of money. We're trying to solve problems.
Right. Absolutely.
Having worked in many even different mediums, sometimes people think sound design is just sci-fi and exotics.
Absolutely.
And what I love, like I did Mrs. America, and that's a period piece. Mm-hmm. I love period pieces because I need to research. I need to understand what are the people like, what did they do, what the sounds were. How do we go realistic? Do we need to hype it a little bit? Do we not want to hype it? So at that point, it's really wonderful because I learned so much. I did a submarine movie. I went to San Diego and a diesel sub, and I recorded the diesel sub and learned about subs. I learned about bees on Honey I Shrunk the Kids. I learned about weaponry on Born on the Fourth. That one of the master teacher was saying, in movies they go blah, 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 and they're shooting wildly. In reality, the guns would seize up. They heated up, especially in Vietnam. And it just happened that in the movie that actually happens to Tom Cruise.
Oh wow.
He's shooting it, and then the whole thing, and the gun's worthless.
Right.
So they would finger, ba 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 ba. So they wouldn't be. It's not like holding it down and it would just shoot. So it was interesting understanding the way people spoke, the way they thought, because ultimately it's about the storytelling
Yes.
and just trying to capture. I went to, on Mrs. America, I went to great lengths because A, there are no libraries of women. It doesn't exist. Number one. Number two, how did women speak in New York, in the Midwest? How did black women speak, which wasn't urbanized in the 1960s? Because they were much more educated. So there were so many complex layers that I really wanted to capture. And I thought the actresses and the filmmakers did such a wonderful job of trying to be realistic during that era. I felt an obligation to meet that and to learn. So as you learn in period pieces, it's wonderful because you become so educated. And there are a couple more period pieces I want to work on. I
Yeah.
love biplanes. I'd love to do a sailing movie, like a big pirate.
Oh, that'd be
That would
fun.
be fun. Just little
Yeah.
things, and then you go and record things, and you listen to the creaks, and
Yeah,
all the
it's the
weird little things.
details that I really love, like the
Yes,
creaks and the presences, and just trying to evoke an emotion from just just sitting where you are and listening. Yeah.
yeah, and of course, I do. I also enjoy and equate it to music. Sometimes I'm heavy metal, sometimes I'm minimalistic jazz, and I feel lucky that I haven't been typecasted.